Here, I have some gloves and a hat for you too.
Ooh, I could definitely use those. I'm sure you're actually using those when you go outside.
That's
Yeah,
right.
right. Skylar, are you at a staircase right now? Looks like a
No, it's just a weird thing. Actually, so I have my brick. I was facing the wrong wall.
Oh, yeah, that looks better.
So, yeah.
Skylar's office is actually in the stairwell.
I'm
Yep,
the only
there it
one that
is.
doesn't have a brick background.
Yet.
Yeah, another 650 number. Someone else joining us from the
I
Bay.
think that's Ryan.
Hey, it's Ryan.
Ryan, what it do?
Hey,
Ryan's,
what's up?
Ryan's driving. He's driving right now. Are you still driving, Ryan?
Yeah, I'm still on the road, but I'm dialed in, so it's good.
Well,
good to hear from you guys.
you can look on the screen on your Tesla, can't you?
No, I'm not in this Tesla, but I will. I'll listen closely
All right, cool.
and try to take mental notes.
Excellent. All
Yeah,
right,
I just
so
rode my first Tesla this week. My co-founder has a Tesla, and he was showing off how quickly he can go from 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds.
Ooh.
I was just like, oh my God, boo.
No, exactly.
But he did it the entire time, and I just kind of got sick after a while. I'm like, oh my God, it's so nauseous. Feels like a roller coaster for sure.
yeah, it's too much technology for me.
The new Tesla is coming out with 1.5, 0 to 60 in 1.5 seconds.
Wow.
That's stupid. I would honestly, if like I hate my radio, like if it could just all radios were just dials like they used to be, I'd be much happier.
Got it.
Even though I've been selling high tech forever, Zen, I'm sort of a Luddite. I actually not like a huge fan of like, especially car technology. That's
a little distracting. Yeah.
Definitely. So real quick, is there anyone else joining us? And
Brandon and Evan are supposed to join, so let's give them like probably 2 minutes because it's 3:31 right now according to my phone.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's wait a couple more minutes. Meanwhile, anybody got anything planned over the weekend? Anything cool?
I guess we'll see. I'm actually going to the Facebook holiday party this evening. My girlfriend works there, so see how that is at the Palace of Fine Arts.
Interesting.
That sounds fun.
Should be. I'm hoping there's enough stuff that's indoors. My girlfriend gets really, really cold, so we're outdoors in the city and the wind is blowing. I know I'm going to hear about it.
Mm-hmm. Is this the one by the beach?
Yeah, it's out like in the marina. Evan!
What's good?
What's up, Evan?
Can you hear me?
Here.
Yes. Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up, dude?
You look like you're in some sort of like new age.
Yeah, it's pretty new age.
Industrial, huh?
Yeah, it's very industrial.
I like it.
Where are you guys at? Sky, good to see you.
I know. It's been too long.
I know. Brent, good to see you.
Hey, Brian, you might want to mute your phone because every time we hear your background noise, your little handset appears.
Okay. What's up, Evan? It's Ryan.
What's good, Ryan? How's it going?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing well, doing well.
Sorry, Ryan.
Sure. What's up, Tyler?
Hey.
Good to hear from you guys. I'm driving back from Scottsdale to Los Altos right now, so I'm just gonna listen in on the demo. But
all right,
I'll hit you guys up sometime. Then I'll be back in the Bay Area.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, definitely let me know.
So Zen, the only person we're waiting for is actually it's only 3:33. So let's give Brandon like one more minute, and then if he doesn't show up, I'm sure he'll join. I texted him last night.
I'll be back in 30 seconds. I'm just gonna grab my coffee.
All right, and there we go. I think that's Brandon right there.
Hey, look at that.
Hello.
What's up?
What's up, man?
Hello. What's up, Brandon? I'm Zen. Nice to meet you, man.
Zen, nice hat, by the way. But nice to meet you as well.
It's a pleasure to meet you. So everyone's on
You have the most
online,
uninteresting background of everyone phone.
No, seriously, I do. These backgrounds are really uninteresting, actually. This is totally a whiteboard and blue wall.
I could change mine. Look. I can do this too. Look.
Nice.
Love it.
That's ridiculous.
All right. So, hey, Zen. So before we get started, everyone doesn't know everyone. So this is what I did. I know a lot of people in inside sales, and since that was where I came from, I love that job, and I always try, every company I work for, I always try to get in with inside sales because one, they know everything that's going on, and two, those are the people that are going to be leading enterprise sales in the next couple of years. So that's who I've gathered here today. And so maybe, I hate saying, let's go around the room, but Zen, I'll turn it over to you to however you want people to introduce themselves. But I basically said, look, this is a company that I'm interested in investing in. I want to get experts who know this space better than I do to give their feedback to me about your solution. So I've just asked them to kind of basically treat it like a demo, ask any questions they want, and then roll with it like that.
Sure. Thanks, Brent. So why don't we just go around the room, and one fun fact, like to get to know everyone here, because everyone does have a sales background and everyone looks pretty dope. Would love to work with you guys and would love to close your companies at the same time. That would be amazing. So why not dovetail our times, right? And help you guys use our platform as an internal use case. So a little bit about me. My name is Zen. I lived in a van for 6 months because San Francisco was crazy expensive. And then I saved all that money and bought this house in the back. This house that I live in, 3-story. And true story.
Wow.
And my mortgage is less than what I pay in the Bay, which was $4,000 a month. And I had to Airbnb. So that's a fun fact about me. So I'm a true hustler. And you guys know about that. I think we can kind of see and like attracts like. And I will turn this over to, spin the bottle, Skylar.
Oh boy. All right. Hey everybody. For those of you who don't know me, Skylar Hogan Van Sickle. Let's see. And we're just going to do a fun fact. I really nerd out reading music biographies, like on Spotify or like Pandora or whatever. I just like hearing and thinking about the ways that an artist's like history influences their music. So yeah.
Nice.
And okay, is this tag? Am I tagging somebody?
Mm-hmm.
I guess
All
so.
right. I want to get to know Brandon, so I'm going to tag him next.
All right. So I'm Brandon. I'm Brandon Jeter, and I'm a Bay Area native. I'm actually from the city of Oakland, and
All right.
Hayward now. But a fun fact about me, and this is I'm not sure how fun this is going to be, but most folks don't know this, but I am a holiday purist. And let me explain what that means. Especially when it comes to Christmas, I cannot listen to Christmas music, watch Christmas movies, do anything Christmas related literally until December 1st. And then it has to end on December 26th, right? So I literally cringe. Seriously, I cringe when I hear Christmas music anytime before December 1st, right? And when I say that, I mean genuinely, like at like literally 11:59 and 59 seconds on November 30th, and then once it's December 1st, I am turning on Christmas music. I am decorating. I am drinking peppermint mochas. I'm doing all that good stuff, and it will last up until 11:59 and 59 seconds on the night of Christmas, and then it's all over.
Nice. Like your shirt and your background.
Wait, this is actually a Flash shirt.
Oh.
There it is. Very fly.
I just saw the top shoulder part.
Just to be honest, just because we're being transparent, I'm actually wearing Flash socks as well.
Hey.
Yes, it got real today. Brent told me about this meeting. I had to come with my my best, man. So
There you go.
Brandon also ran track. However, I think I could beat him in a race.
You know what? Brent is actually so fit, and he knows that I'm so out of shape. He probably can. So I'm gonna popcorn it over to Evan W. at this point.
Hey, what's up? Thank you for passing me over. So, my name's Evan. Currently, I manage the enterprise business development team at SurveyMonkey. Skylar and I worked together for about a year and a half at Gainsight, which is where we met Brent. I'd say a fun fact about me. Let's see. I guess since we're all kind of like on this entrepreneurial spirit and like I not only have a day job, but I'm also working on a passion project of my own outside of SurveyMonkey. So that is my fun fact for now.
Nice.
Love it.
Nice. So am I the last person? Oh, Ryan. Ryan, you can go off mute. You're approved to release yourself from mute right now.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Brent, and thanks, Evan. Hey, everyone, it's Ryan. I'm Ryan Mendez. I work at Gainsight also, so that's how I know Evan and Skylar and Brent. I've been in sales development for over 3 years at 3 different SaaS startups in Silicon Valley. And fun fact about me is that in high school, I played Halo 2 tournaments professionally for money, and I traveled all over the U.S. And my team was ranked top 2 in the nation back in 2006 for MLG Pro. And besides that, I'm actually looking for a new job at some high-tech companies in the Bay Area, and I'm moving back from Phoenix, where I worked at Gainsight. So if anyone has any good ideas or good referrals, actually, let me know for a good job. All right.
Check out PandaDoc. I can connect you and refer you.
Yeah, that's a good company too.
Yeah.
Ryan, PandaDoc.
Yeah, I'm happy to look at anything.
I'm hiring, Ryan. I'm hiring.
I love it. The shameless plug.
This is a good group of people, man. Like,
so far we've had Zen try to close everyone. Evan trying to hire Ryan.
Dovetail.
That's good. All right, so I guess I'm left. So Ryan, now I will approve you to go back on mute so that your phone doesn't show up anymore. But we all know you're listening intently as you drive.
Oh yeah.
So I think everyone knows me. So fun fact about me is my first startup, this is kind of what Zen was talking about with their startup experience. I basically decided I didn't want to become a business school professor. So this is during the dot-com boom back in like 1999. So I'd interviewed with a bunch of internet consulting companies, and I realized that, or I don't know if I actually was, but at least I thought I was smarter than everyone that I was interviewing with. But I wasn't getting any of the jobs. And I couldn't understand what was going on. So finally I was like, screw this. I'm just going to start my own companies because I think I can do this better than these people that I'm interviewing with. So I started this internet consulting company called Quixotico. And then on the side, I started this other company, Fat Thursday, which is like a networking events face-to-face company, which actually ended up being for what I needed at the time, which is to pay the rent, the better business. And I essentially went into $50,000 in credit card debt with absolutely no path to paying it off. I just believed that I would. And in 6 months I did. So through Fat Thursday, I paid off like 50 grand in credit card debt after like 6 months. That's my interesting fact.
Cool.
But the goal, my wife, I don't know if we were married at the time. Yeah, I think we were married. Yeah, it was actually right after our wedding. All she says, look, I don't care what you do as long as you can pay the rent. So that was my sole goal.
Yeah, or you can get a van too. Cheaper.
That's right. Yeah, I don't know.
And a gym membership. You need a gym membership with a shower for sure.
There you go. Yep, that's it.
All right, Zen, so the floor is yours.
All right. So what do you guys know about Close One today, and what do you want to know? I now tailor this demo based on what you guys want. There's 6 or 5 different use cases that we could go over.
I'll start. I don't know much about it, but just based off the name, I'm assuming it's about close one business. So that's, I really am coming at this kind of like with an open mind. I don't know too much at all.
Okay. Yeah. So right away, when you think close one, you're thinking at the end of the funnel, right? We have a very different view of how sales is conducted. We believe that close one, if you flip the funnel, is at the top. It is the very beginning of every single conversation, because really what we want to do is have our clients win, have them talk about our product, word of mouth, and then back to marketing, and then back to lead automation, and then back to closing deals. That is the future of sales, flipping the funnel, not the other way around. So with that, let's choose SurveyMonkey as our use case. Why don't you give me a quick profile or persona that you'd like to go after? And quick question, do you guys have outbound teams, or is it mostly inbound?
No, so I manage a fully outbound team, and then there's another person who manages the inbound team. So I'm all outbound, and I guess so at SurveyMonkey we have a product suite. So we have SurveyMonkey Enterprise, which is essentially consolidating a bunch of like rogue SurveyMonkey accounts at businesses. So for example, like a company like Nike might have, 700 people using SurveyMonkey, but all that data is owned by the individual and not by Nike itself. And so what we would do is we'd reach out to like somebody in IT with centralized budget, and kind of let them know it's like, hey, you've got a bunch of SurveyMonkey accounts. Some of them are probably sending surveys about hot dogs, shirts, sizes, and stuff like that. But some of them are sending out NPS scores and really good information about your employees, your customers. And then once that person leaves the business, it doesn't, all that great data doesn't stay with Nike. It goes somewhere else. It goes with that person. So we call it consolidation, which we call SurveyMonkey Enterprise. You get more features, collaboration, stuff like that. And then the other products we sell is a product called Engage for HR professionals. My team is really focused on and this is what our use case will be, I guess, is we acquired a company called Tech Validate about 2-3 years ago. And it's a marketing tool that allows product marketers to get like really good content at the ready. And so basically what it does, the way the software works is it sends out a survey to your customer base, and they fill out a couple buttons or whatever. And then before you know it, you have like a really good like case study, or maybe just like a validated like blurb about how that business uses your platform. But with that being said, here's the scenario. Director of product marketing, they are struggling getting validated content up on their website. They've got a VP of sales who's bugging them, saying, we can't sell until we get more case studies up on the board. Where's our case studies? Why aren't you capturing the voice of our happy customers? And so that's, I guess, the scenario.
Okay. Very good. Moral of the story is the conversations don't stop. Even after close one. Leads, you need conversation nurturing. You close a deal, nurture, NPS surveys, it just goes on and on and on and on, back to marketing. And that's what close one will help automate. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. In short, we have a multi-touch omni-channel campaign that allows you to accelerate the rate of human connection. So before I go into the prototype, the first thing I want to show you is your TCP. You talked about your director of product PM, right? Mm-hmm. Let's go product marketing or manager?
Product marketing.
Okay, let's start there. And then let's get granular. Geography, United States, or is there a particular city you want to target?
Let's do San Francisco Bay Area just for...
No,
Bay Area?
Yeah,
okay.
San Francisco.
I love how when I type the Bay, it shows the Bay. So there we go. Our total addressable market is 346,000. Now let's get more granular and include VP of sales and director. So under seniority level, let's choose CXO, okay, C-suites.
Yeah, definitely.
So all the decision maker.
Yeah, director and above probably work.
So we can go after ABM, ABS. What that means is if you want a specific company, aka Nike, we can go after all of the folks in Nike. From there, our total addressable market is 98,000. And then now we have the ability to aggregate data. And that is a proprietary stuff. Once we aggregate, we verify, we enrich. Does this look like a good profile for you, or do you want to calibrate a little bit more?
No, this is perfect.
Okay.
And it's also like anybody who would be, so like the reason why product marketers are super important is because like they are responsible. It's like when an engineer rolls out a product or the engineering team rolls out a new product, their job is like market it, and typically you need like case studies and things. So anybody who would be a part of like capturing the voice of the customer would be a good title.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a great point. You can have multiple target client profiles or ICPs. And so if we were to just focus on PMs, San Francisco decision makers, and you do want to now reach 98,000 people, our company literally aggregates all this data. Once it's aggregated, we verify, we enrich it, and then you'll have it in here so that you can calibrate and disqualify any leads that do not fall in your target client profile. For me, I have a lot. I'm targeting angels at the moment. This is actually how I got in touch with Brent. He was automated and he responded to one of my cadences. And now I have amazing connections with you beautiful people on here. So in order to disqualify, all we do is click on this icon and then add the reason why you're disqualifying it. If you add the reasons of disqualification, it'll make our AI smarter so that in the future we can find look-alike profiles to increase your number of contacts. Any questions about people before I move into the omni-channel multi-touch campaign?
No,
when you just a quick question here. When you make these changes, for example, when you disqualify here inside of your platform, I'm assuming that those changes are going to be reflected also inside of a CRM as well, right?
Exactly. Yes. Are you using Salesforce today? What kind of CRM?
Oh, yeah, we're using Salesforce.
Okay. So then we will make that our number one priority. If our clients say, yes, we want a bidirectional sync with Salesforce, we're going to create that Chrome extension and prioritize your need.
Got it. And then just a really quick question besides that. So for example, you said that as you make these changes to each of the leads, it's going to sort of, it obviously augments the actual profile itself to ensure that, that the rate increases. Is there some sort of scoring, like between 0 and 100? We always kind of see that. Is that sort of the situation as well here?
Another great feedback, another feature that we have in our roadmap. Yes. And so if you do become a client at our prototype level, a lot of the things that you want, we will build for you. You're going to be at the center of our universe. So yes, we already have that in our product roadmap, but we haven't built it yet.
Okay.
Any other questions regarding people? Next step is scheduling appointments. All right. So Ryan, this one's good for you because you're an SDR. A lot of the things that we do is manual, unless of course you're using Outreach. However, if you're using Outreach or Reply App or SalesLoft, you only have email automation. A lot of the other things are still manual. What we've done is we've automated all of the touch points: email, social selling, and voice. So how do we activate it? The first is you create a name, choose a profile. In this case, I'll choose my real estate profile. Activate the campaign today. Click next. And then I have the ability to drop a LinkedIn connect with an ad note. And this is good for the GDPR policy because we want to have an opt-in before we actually reach out to them. And then we want to provide value because we do not want to send any emails until our prospect know we care about them. So we'll do like a Twitter follow or a reblog or some kind of comment on their profile. And then we can go ahead and drop emails. With the emails, I always recommend Storytell. Provide tips and tricks before you actually sell your product. Otherwise, those guys are just going to put you in spam. But you can create as many touch points as you want. We always recommend having 20 touch points over a 60-day cadence. And then from there, once we activate, the next step is to iterate. So after a week of activating our own campaign, our clients report scheduling an appointment with 90,000 person companies. I mean, I have a very close relationship with all of my clients, and they all text me their results. So that's pretty much it. And then you activate. Any questions?
Real quick, kind of similar to Brandon's question before, but I'm assuming this is the same. So all your emails will also sync to like the activity history in Salesforce?
Yes.
Okay.
It is going to sync. Everything is bidirectionally synced now. I mean, if you have SalesLoft, you have Reportive. I mean, every single platform out there syncs with Salesforce. And frankly, I believe that's the reason why Salesforce and all these CRMs are powerful. It's because all of these awesome platforms are connected with them. But do we really, I don't know. You guys tell me, do you guys really need Salesforce since all your activities are found inside of a few, like let's say, who uses Outreach? Does anybody? Okay. A lot of your activities are in Outreach except for the manual tasks such as cold calling or social selling, correct?
Pretty much.
Usually.
And then there's the notes and the activities that's also created, AKA events. Okay. So that's basically what's the biggest difference. I mean, if you build that inside of a platform, you don't really need a CRM because it's a record keeping tool. We can literally build a record keeping tool.
Yeah, the only thing I would say is sometimes there's like a lot of different departments who use Salesforce, or a lot of different, like for example, like SurveyMonkey started in like 1999, and I think we've had Salesforce since like 2008 or something like that. And so there's a ton of historical data in Salesforce that like we wouldn't want to like rip and replace. There might be like a lot of confusion there. I mean, we're doing like a lot of duplicates and all sorts of different stuff here. But
I agree.
Yeah, that's the only pushback I guess I would have is like I do think that the CRM is necessary. Not like I think like if you just start a new company and you can have Salesforce, you could probably do without it. But I think that for folks who had Salesforce for more than a year or two, probably would want to keep it.
I agree with you. We used at Yelp Salesforce 2007, and it hasn't really changed much. I mean, all these fields that you customize. One of the things that we're building here at Close One, again with that bidirectional sync, is the ability to pull information. Who here is familiar with Clearbit or ZoomInfo?
Me.
Okay. Anybody read their privacy policy? Read their privacy policy. They're actually already getting all of your information inside of your Salesforce. I don't know what kind of roadmap they're going to build in the future, but they have all of your information inside of Clearbit and ZoomInfo. And that is how they're reselling your information to other people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy, right? So yes, Salesforce is very valuable, but at the same time, I think there are platforms out there who are kind of building a Trojan horse. Yeah. And those who get that data and turn it into AI will win the future game of artificial intelligence. And you guys can tell me if you agree or not, but I strongly believe that's what these other large data companies are doing with Salesforce, Oracle, Microsoft. That's why bidirectional sync is so important.
Do you email them? Yeah. Two quick questions. One, number one, can you show us what these voice templates look like? Because I'm assuming that they're basically I'm assuming they're call scripts, but I just want to make sure, without assuming that. That's one question. And then the second question I was going to ask is sort of like, what you have in Outreach, for example. Do you have the ability to sort of, to look at, these, I guess these campaigns, as you would call them, and look at their success rates? In terms of like in a dashboard or, just as an aggregate, like, is there any way to do that as well?
Yes. You should join my product team. I really like your questions. One of these days. Let me just go into our roadmap because you touched on two very important things. Very quickly.
You use them inside.
before I go into, momentum, right? You get this Zen in. 90% of our clients are sourced and acquired by Closed One. 10% are referrals, which means my clients are very, very happy. They're referring us. And the reason why we're fundraising right now is because a lot of these items are operationalized, and we need to productize these operations. So back to your question, KPIs, you're saying KPIs, and also how does the voice drops work? Let's go into the actual metrics. We're building this as quickly as we can. And this is what it will look like once it's completed. Again, we're open to feedback, so you guys can be my advisor board if you want. But there you go. So when you click on these arrows here, then wait a minute. Yes, you can make calls on the dashboard with VoIP. But there it is. So you can see every single metric.
Okay. And then just really quickly for the voice templates, those are basically just recorded voicemails. Is that right?
Correct. There's different types of voice use cases currently that we are building. The first is a voicemail drop. What that means is if you have 1,000 contacts and you've already sent a LinkedIn, a Twitter, an email, and you've built a good relationship, on the 20th day, we want you to do a voicemail drop. Instead of calling them and waiting for that voicemail to come in, we can just drop a voicemail that says, yo, Evan, it's Zen. I'm a real person. Let's schedule a call. That's one use case, so we can save your time. The second use case is a scheduler. It's like Calendly, except you can do it with your voice. So, hey, yo, Brandon, press 1. Let's schedule a call tomorrow at 1 p.m. or 2 at 3 p.m. because it looks like you're not in front of your computer, but you're in front of your phone. And you're listening to this message. So just go ahead and connect with me then. So that's the other use cases. Again, what we're trying to do is remove all that wait time that Ryan is experiencing. I don't experience those anymore because I'm on back-to-back calls. A lot of my emails and my appointments are automated. All of this is automated. I just sit back, relax, and wait for you guys to hop on my calls. And that is the future of sales, accelerating the rate of human connections. And version 2 of Closed One is making sure that we accelerate the rate of better human connections. Because yeah, you can get a lot of appointments, but if you don't know the right thing to say, then you're just burning through leads. You better know exactly what to say when you're hopping on these calls. So that's Closed One. Did I answer your questions in regards to the voicemail, Brandon?
No, you did. My last question is going to be about pricing because obviously, what's that about?
You want to get started? All right, guys, you ready? So we are a SaaS subscription model. Here's our model today. A lot of our companies get a middle tier package that is between the startup and the popular. So most of my guys sign up with a $3,000 per month to $5,000 per month package. I'm happy to share with you a comparison of our results, our test, our campaigns versus hiring an SDR. But I can show you the different outputs, the times you save, the ramp ups, the number of systems that you have to purchase for an SDR versus just going with Closed One. And most importantly, the number of deals you can close with Closed One instead of hiring an SDR. I can actually show you that now if you want to see.
Yeah, I'd love to see that. So you basically have your ROI already, Zen, based on the results of your pilot customers?
Yes, we are profitable. The only reason why we're raising funding is to build the AI. Because, guys, I'm the AI.
Yeah.
You already know. I have to literally type and auto suggestion, and when I see emails, I'm like, dude, your email is way too long. You have 5 paragraphs. Use freaking bullet points. Why do you have 10 words in your subject line? Just use 2 effective words. Use the data. Oh my God, some of these folks, they're killing me. You know this, Evan, because you're at SurveyMonkey, so you see a lot of crazy emails out there. And yeah, my job is to iterate that manually. So if you guys want to invest as Angels, that would be amazing. I know that everyone here has a very we're all in sales. We know how this stuff works. So
Zen, the euphemism for that is concierge MVP. It's not manual.
Nice.
Oh, hey, handcrafted. I love it. I like your words. Okay,
Yeah,
so
let's see the ROI, because that's something I'm definitely interested in. I'm sure others are as well.
let me open it. Okay, so oh my God, Eli, stop. Okay, sorry. Also, to all my clients, you guys are welcome to stay here in Las Vegas if you guys want to party together.
Oh my, look out.
There's a great Korean barbecue place, probably not too far from you, Zen. I'll send you a link that I ate at last. I go there every year. I told you that, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you want to come over, we have a bunch of rooms here. I'll reserve it.
My wife's family is from there, so we always go there. Believe it or not, my wife's cousin was a male stripper for.
Nice.
Yeah.
He worked. Listen to this. He worked. He would work 3 half-hour shifts a week, and he'd make, on average, $300 in cash each shift.
Oh my gosh.
That's close one.
Word.
Touche, my man.
This is my call.
All right.
Wow.
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, that was an aside. Okay, so what are we looking at now?
Okay, so comparison. This is an SDR versus close one. Essentially, SDRs can have 94 activities daily. Per month, that would be 2,800 activities per month. With close one, you can literally have 8,000 activities that you can automate. Again, it's omni-channel, which means we're automating social, email, voice. And in regards to the number of deals closed, 3.7 deals closed with an SDR. With close one is 13. Now, there's a caveat here. You have to have a product market fit. If you don't have a product market fit, then your results will be different.
How is that measured?
Tell me more about that question. What do you mean measured?
Well, I mean, people are always trying to achieve product market fit. I mean, that's a dynamic thing. How can you say at any one time, like, your client has product market fit with 100% certainty?
Yeah. Okay. Great question. So it would be ICP versus TCP. A TCP is where I'm just trying to figure out who my target client profiles are. But if you have an ideal client profile and these guys are signing up with you and you have some kind of conversion rate already on your website and it's self-serve, that is a product market fit. Whereas a TCP is just like, oh, I'm going to just throw it on this vertical and test that vertical and blah, blah, blah. So.
Got it. Okay. Thanks. I appreciate you clarifying that.
Yeah, man. Skylar, such a good name, Skylar. I think I was gonna name my kid Skylar at one point. Crazy.
Really? Oh, okay. Huh.
Sorry, random. Okay, any questions about the comparison here? Because you guys are probably thinking, wait, number of recipients engaged per day or number of recipients, the pool.
Well, my question, when I see this, whenever I do, business case / ROIs for enterprise customers, they're always highly skeptical of the data. So when I see this, I know you guys produce great results. What kind of questions do people ask you when they see this? Because when I look at this, it looks too good to be true.
Yeah. So the TCP for Close One AI is 50 to, it's a large pool of people, 50 to 10,000 plus employee sizes, and it's in computer technology.
Got it.
And also one more. It is ABS sales, not marketing. We don't do any marketing. Everything here is outbound sales.
Got it.
Another thing there is we're connecting with C-suites, VPs, directors.
You guys are solely targeting C-suites, VPs, and directors, right?
Yes, decision makers.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Anyone who can sign a deal quickly. And this, so, my days to close is 2.4 days to close. Sales cycle. That is proposal defined as proposal sent to money in the bank. So I define it very differently instead of appointments scheduled.
I understand. And then I'm curious about like your average deal size then is what?
My average deal size is $7,000 per client.
Okay.
And the reason for that is because our clients want more leads or they want more services. An example would be, hey, Zen, I have 10,000 leads right now in Salesforce and I had a data decay of 30%. Can you please enrich and verify some of those guys and see if you can find lookalike profiles? And then we go into their Salesforce. Of course, we make sure they're suppressed, and then we go ahead and deliver new leads that they can go after, because these folks probably already switched jobs and you want to follow them where they go. And that's where the money is. Most people don't follow people when they switch jobs. And if they are big fans of your platform, they can resell your product internally and say, yep, I had a great experience with SurveyMonkey. You guys should use them.
Makes sense. So I just want to make sure I'm on the same page. So you said proposal to sign contract is like a little bit more than 2 days.
Proposal sent to money in the bank, signed contract and money in the bank. So
are you targeting accounts that don't have legal departments? Is that what's going on? Or?
That is a good. We have Rakuten.
Just 2 days between. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry,
and also we've connected an ACH where they just literally connect either a credit card or so it's fast. It's not. It doesn't go through a vendor procurement.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So that's where the money. It's a lot easier to close.
How do you get around going through procurement? Because any big company, like at least in my experience, you just have to go through procurement.
Yep.
So.
You got to do vendor. You got to sign up. So here's the thing: I do not send my contracts until I go through that. That's a personal. For me, it's my own style. I need to know what their procurement processes are. And so I collect all that information, fill it out. And once it's filled out, then I tell them, okay, I'm going to go ahead and send the proposal. And then I can start tracking them on PandaDoc. I'm happy to share that if you guys want to see how that works too.
Huh.
Interesting, huh?
Is that something is that a best practice that you share with your clients? Because I could see people using Closed One AI, hearing that stat and not realizing that that's a style, right? Because there's a lot of salespeople that I work with here at Sendoso that don't do that, right? We're in black holes with all kinds of very large enterprise organizations. And then they're like, oh, this closed one thing, she said it takes like 2.5 days. It's taken me, 2.5 years. I don't know, or 2.5 months.
Yeah. Skylar, you're right. It is a best practice. For me, this is my own style. I find it a lot more effective making sure that I get all the questions answered, because there's a lot of stuff that we need to figure out, from decision makers, political landscape, procurement, security, IT, integration. Like, there's so many things. Once you get a yes, then I say, okay, next step is I'm going to go ahead and send the proposal. And that's the only thing we're going to talk about, that proposal, so that there's nothing else that we need to overcome, because we know that we've checked off the political landscape. We know the authority is there. We know the timeline is you're going to sign up within 2 weeks. That was your timeline. And then we know you have a budget. So once all of that is completed, then we just focus in on that proposal sent. This is a best practice. This is my own. I want to share this with the rest of the teams. Anyway.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So I just want to make sure I understand one more thing. I guess this is in line with this is also in line with Skylar's question. So are you saying that this tool, that you're leveraging this tool not just in the initial meeting to set, but you're also leveraging this tool throughout the actual deal cycle to automate communication? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. And again, back to our core values, right? Close one is at the top of the funnel, not at the bottom of the funnel. We're flipping the funnel. What that means is, by focusing on that close one, you're literally helping your clients build their use cases, making sure that they're winning their client success stories, turning those into narratives, spotlights, marketing, back to word of mouth. So again, literally flipping that entire funnel, because I feel like everybody thinks that after close one, sales is done. It's not true. So enterprise guys, you know this, in order to get those upsells and those cross sells to increase use cases, right? with SurveyMonkey, it's not just a use case of, sending out marketing collaterals. You use it for retention, referrals, NPS, surveys. You can
well, also I could see this too, where, when I was an inside sales rep, you get some crappy field sales rep that doesn't do anything. You give them a good lead and then they just let it die on the vine.
Oh yeah, that's right. A lot of burn leads. That's another thing. So there's a lot of reps out there. They're kind of not as diligent as the A player reps, but you'll see your A players, they're making sure that every single lead are getting touched 20 times in a month. Like, I do not forget about a client. I have you guys on reminders and I have you guys in campaigns. Literally okay, here's another, I just need to talk about this because it's really important. So I'm going to talk about the SDR flow. When you have an SDR, you have a handoff because the lead becomes an opportunity, right? But then there's a challenge because salespeople, there's these different stages in a funnel. They forget to nurture each and every one of them. What if you can have a campaign for qualifying stage, campaign for appointment stage, campaign for negotiation stage, evaluation stage, proposal stage, and literally each and every one of them are going through this campaign where you're just automating and accelerating your human connections, because the best way to overcome objections is when you're in front of the person, understanding what it is that is holding them back. So what that means is you can now activate campaigns for every stage in the funnel, not just the marketing side, not just the ending. Because if you think about that sales funnel, a lot of that work is being done manually. And even if you think about outreach, oh yeah, that's right. In my outreach, I have these email automation, but once they schedule an appointment and they're in proposal stage, I don't have a campaign in my outreach, do I?
You're talking about getting someone to show up to that call once you set the appointment.
Every single time.
Okay.
No matter what stage you're in.
Got it. Okay. So after the contract is signed, you want some kind of notification, or you're going to do an NPS score 90 days after to make sure that they're having a good experience.
Yes, absolutely. That's one use case.
So is there some sort of matrix or is there some sort of org chart or approval matrix that you have to input into the solution, so that as you are putting together these campaigns throughout each step of the sales cycle, that you know exactly who your emails and or cadence needs to go to? So is that I'm assuming that part will be manual, that you have to, for example, you go, once you figure out who's all a part of the evaluation team, right, and understanding who's involved at which stage, I'm assuming that's, you put together some sort of workflow tree of evaluators to only be touched during certain pieces of the funnel. Is that what you're saying?
Brandon, again, you named another good feedback: workflow approvals and the ability to assign it to different users depending on where that contact opportunity or client is in the stage of relationships. You said it. Now we're going to build it. Thank you.
Hear that?
Yeah. So this is why all of these calls are so important, because I need to remember, you guys are smarter than me and I'm just recording it. You guys are smarter, so I'm just documenting it and I get to share this with my team. See?
Hey, Zen,
approvals, man.
Zen, can you show them the campaign of how you contacted me?
That'll be great to see.
The first one, or?
Yes.
Whatever. I just like the workflow, because I think it's, to me, that I'm visual, so for me to see the little steps, that's how I got it.
I would definitely like to see that as well, because I just see there's a lot of use cases that I've heard, but I just want to see one in play.
Sure. Let me
or even if it's not me, just the typical one, just so that I could visually see, okay, you did the email outreach, the voicemail, that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, this is so here. Okay, so let me just show you all the way back. Okay, I need to show my LinkedIn as well, but
Okay.
let me find Brent. What's your email again? Brent Schmidt.
Brent J. Schmidt at Gmail, probably.
Okay. This is a combination of all types of emails, but it started off with this first outreach. Let's go back. Oh, I even sent you a song. So here I am providing value because Brent likes this song. But we started off on LinkedIn. That's the first step. So full disclosure, I am using my platform to reach out and connect with angel investors. Let me just go into LinkedIn so you guys can see what that looks like.
So basically, guys, just for I was looking at LinkedIn. I got this LinkedIn message from Zen, and that's how we started talking. And
Got it.
I don't remember if it was an automated voicemail or if she called. I don't remember what it was, but
yep.
No one ever calls me after that to me on LinkedIn, and you guys probably know I like to talk on the phone. So when someone calls me, I usually call them back.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought it was very intriguing that one, she was pitching me on being an angel investor, but two, she was actually calling me, which is very rare these days.
Yeah. So the first step, best practice, is always LinkedIn. So all of these guys are getting automated. So notice how I'm getting all these connections. I'm not doing this. It's our platform. First thing is to connect, send a message. And what does that message look like? It's basically, hey, Brent, it's Zen. I have an opportunity for you. That's very simple. And then from there, he got a voicemail from me. Do you have the recorded voicemail? You can send it over. And then he also got a touch point, which is an email. And that's basically the sequence. So all of this is activated on our platform. And it literally, it's right here. It's email and then voicemail, LinkedIn, but always LinkedIn is the first step. I don't do anything without a LinkedIn connect because I want you guys to vet me.
So in this flow, is step 1 and 2 LinkedIn? Like that step 1 email, is that email through LinkedIn?
If it's a LinkedIn message, then it's a LinkedIn message. It's not an email to a LinkedIn. It's just a LinkedIn to LinkedIn, email to email, voice to voice, Twitter to Twitter.
So the flow that you went through me, you don't show 1 and 1 because that was a LinkedIn direct message, right?
Yeah, with you, the sequence would be LinkedIn, email, and then voice drop, and then a bunch of other emails, which is
okay.
Here.
Got
so
it.
Again, it's omni-channel, multi-touch campaign. When we say omni-channel, we can literally automate your phone calls, your social selling, and your email. And Outreach only does email, and everything else. Actually, they've activated SMS, I believe.
So you guys have an integration with LinkedIn, then? I'm assuming.
Tricky. You already know this answer. LinkedIn is very secretive with their API, and so we have an inference technology. It is an inference technology, which means their API, if they switch it, we have something that also tries to figure out what their API is doing. I'll give you an example. In order for me to find your email, I would have to use this technology called inference, and I have to test out EW@surveymonkey.com, Evan@surveymonkey.com, Evan W @surveymonkey. Like, I just have to keep going until that's verified, and that's how we find ways to get through their API.
Got it. No, that makes total sense. And so essentially you guys would replace Outreach, correct?
That's the goal. We're looking at them, but they just closed $125 million. So, I mean, it's a beast, right?
Yeah, exactly. What do you guys have examples of customers you currently have that have done the Outreach replacement
with Closed One?
Yeah, exactly. Our first client, New Year's Eve, signed up with us 2017 last year.
Wow.
Name is Yoshi, and they were using Outreach. See, they even gave me access to their Outreach.
Wow.
And I literally had to give them content on what to say. Anyway, the report, we worked together 90 days. In 30 days of working together, we scheduled 14 enterprise appointments, and that is defined as 1,000 employee sizes and above. Out of 14 appointments, they closed one deal, LKQ, for $10,000. And then LKQ had an upsell to $20,000 45 days after working together.
And that was through a flow with Closed One.
Yes, multi-touch campaign. So what you're seeing here is a combination of phone, email, phone, email, social. Phone, email, social. It's just, you just got to do all three. I mean, it's a different buying process. We got to provide value, not just, well, we got to educate in multiple platforms, basically. So there's more to this.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
90 days after working together, let me just show you. So here's where the AI craziness comes in. I'm on Slack. I invite all my clients on Slack, and I literally like barge their calls right now. I am telling them how to overcome objections. Just a lot of work. It's a lot of fun work. But let me just go into our results. Dun-dun. Are you guys thinking of investing too?
I'm thinking of buying it.
Okay. Sorry, there's so much stuff I need to make this shorter. Okay, so here's the client. And because we work together on Slack, they started to share their wins. So every single day they'd say, Zen, we just scheduled an appointment with 13,000 employee size, 180 user seats, 30 user seats, 850 person company size. And this just kept happening with the leads that we sourced for them. And 90 days later, boom, they closed a $10 million deal for 152 seats with Caruso.
That's awesome.
Wow.
And I just have to say, this is a combination of our platform and literally sales coaching.
Yeah.
A lot of hard work. Like what I do is I collect your playbook, all of your playbooks, and we try to understand, how you guys overcome objections, ways to overcome objections, how to change paradigms.
Then let me ask you a question there, because I'm just thinking about it from an investor standpoint, scaling. Like, I understand you have to kind of handhold, but how do you scale to 10,000 companies if you have to handhold every company and basically tell them how to follow the method?
Yeah. So this is where the AI comes in. There's a unique insight. I don't know if I should share it with you guys, but how long have you guys been in sales?
20 years.
20 years?
About 6.
Do you find yourself kind of already knowing what the other person's going to say sometimes when you're on a phone, when you're listening to them, and you already know, like, you already know how to overcome the objection before the other person says something. And I think that is a knowledge that new reps don't have yet. And so our goal is to ramp them up, providing the right information, because you can only overcome an objection with 3 different answers. Really, it's how, why, how, why. So, no, think about it.
That's in all of our conversations. Then that's the best summary of Closed One that I've heard. You should definitely, to me, that immediately clicks. I like to, Evan, Brandon, and Skylar, what do you guys think about that? Because to me, that's where it clicks.
Mm.
Let me
Skylar's not sold on that story.
Can you repeat it? Can you repeat it one more time?
Yeah, I'll be more specific, because This is the training I got at Yelp when I sucked. Everyone was closing deals except for me. Like, I would cry every night. I would pitch underneath my desk, and I didn't know what I was doing wrong. And finally, my boss told me, Zen, be yourself. That's one. And from now on, moving forward, I want you to write the 3 reasons why someone will sign up with you and the 3 reasons why they will not sign up with you. Just knowing these answers for each and every account, you can overcome any objection.
So I think, Scott, I think what she's saying is basically, I had one company, I don't remember, maybe it was Aptus, where you're trying to take the best practices of the best rep and disseminate it to everyone.
Democratizing the A-player sales process.
Okay. That clicks.
Because when you're talking to a prospect, really our job is to understand where they are and then to change their paradigm, right? How do you change someone's paradigm? By asking them why. How do you make that more powerful? Understanding the 3 reasons why they're not going to sign up. So let's say, you know, Zen, I'm not going to sign up right now. You got to figure out, is that your decision or is that your CEO's decision? And then they say, it's my CEO's decision. And then you say, okay, why did your CEO hire you? Is it to do whatever it is you were hired for, or to do what they did in the past? You're helping them change their paradigms just with the questions of whys. That's basically it. If you know your product and you know how to map those features and those advantages, those are just like the bonuses. People don't care about that stuff. What they really care about is the emotional purchase. We all make emotional buys. Do I like this person? Does this person understand me? Can they hear me? Can they help me get a promotion? Am I going to win? Am I going to look like a rock star when we actually implement this stuff?
Zen, let me interject for a sec. So we're at I can stay on for longer, but some of these guys might need to jump off. You guys need to jump off. Do you have any final questions for Zen?
I do have to jump, but actually, I do have one final question. So Zen, can you give me an example of an account or a company that is not in your ICP, and what makes them not in your ICP?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a great question. I love your answers. I mean, your questions, Brandon. So VC. So I had angel investors, right, as one of my profiles, and I have this automated campaign happening. So I'm on back-to-back calls with angels. Brent's one of them. Another one is a VC guy. And this VC says, hey, Zen, you know what? I need to get in touch with multifamily offices who can then invest $5 million in my fund so I can expand it and give more money and invest in startups. So that is an ICP that we do not want to work with, because these guys are not salespeople. They don't understand the sales process, but they are paying, and they do love our product, and they're, for some reason, referring all of their portfolio companies to us, which is nice. So VCs, we don't want to work with investors. We want to,
Awesome. Wait, but they are using your platform currently.
They are, yes, and they're asking so many crazy feedbacks. I mean, they're for product builds. Like, for instance, one use case they gave me is, Zen, can I only automate an outreach to people who have accepted a response on LinkedIn? And I'm trying to figure out, why don't they want to send out a second email or a second outreach to all of the people that they've connected with on LinkedIn? Why is it only the people who responded?
Sure.
So that's like a very unique use case, because for them, they're so careful.
So people like that are not low-hanging fruit for you, because they're not really salespeople.
They're not salespeople. They don't get it.
Guys, I gotta have to jump, but thank you for answering my question. I'm probably going to just do more feedback, obviously, with Brent, but this was very good. Thank you very much.
All right. See you, Flash Gordon.
See you guys.
All right.
Thanks, man.
All right, guys. Any other questions?
Evan, Skylar, you guys have any other questions?
I I guess we didn't really. I mean, you kind of touched on it. How's the pricing structure work again?
Yeah, it is $1,000 per month to $10,000 per month, depending on how many leads you want to go after. It depends on the data. If you want to go
after. It's based off like how much you want to pull and things like that, and how granular you want to get with it.
Exactly. Right.
Got it. Okay. And what is the minimum? So like if it was like if it was just like that $1,000 a month threshold, what would be like our data capacity? Where would we stop?
It's 600 verified data. Verified is defined as emails that will not bounce, emails that will have a success deliverability rate. However, we just implemented this with new clients that we're onboarding. We will give you all of the data that we aggregate. So for instance, if there is 2,000 or 20,000 leads that we've already aggregated and they all don't have verified leads, we'll just give them to you because you might as well work them and get the wins and get the appointments via LinkedIn versus via email. So yeah, you guys are going to be at the center of our universe.
Where do you see Close One in 5 years?
5 years, our goal is to hit $117 million in ARR. Right now, we just hit our $100,000 mark, actually.
Wow, congratulations.
Awesome. Congrats.
So we're really excited, except again, back to the whole AI, like we just really need to build this ML AI part. But 5 years from now, we want to hit $117 million. And I have downside projections that I can share with Brent, and he can share with you guys if you want to invest in us.
I don't know if you can share this yet, but how many paying clients do you have?
Sure. All of them are paying.
Okay.
We have 15. Yeah, 15. All of them. Nice. Yes.
Nice.
So Skylar, here's a fun fact. Before we did anything, instead of sending out surveys to hypothetical users as a startup, my CTO and I, we just looked at each other and said, why don't we just send proposals and get them to sign up? And then we can reinvest that fund and hire our engineers and then prototype based on what our clients want. And that's what you see today. It is a feedback of what our clients want.
Got it. So in the early days, I mean, a lot of what you're building is stuff that your clients, right, are sort of asking for. But you talk about like the VC or whatever that's using your platform. You know that's not low-hanging fruit. Like, how does your product team think about prioritizing like different feedback and feature sets and stuff like that?
Such a good question. Yes, we just created our litmus question test. It has to pass certain questions such as, one, are they in our ICP? Then we can go ahead and prioritize our product feedback. If we don't have anything else in our bugs or our feedback that our main clients want, then okay, fine, we'll go ahead and build that. But that's not the case. So you have to pass a certain test of questions.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that question a lot, Skylar, because I remember when Brandon kind of mentioned it, like for a lot of your customers, you're kind of like helping you build the product with you. I've been at a startup that's like, around 15, 20 employees, and that they kind of had that same mindset where it's like, we just want customers, and like every time we get a prospect, we'll just build whatever they want. And I think that what can happen in those situations, at least what happened at the company I was at, was that like they tried to build so many different things and like they didn't have a clear direction, and because of that, like there was a lot of initiatives that never got finished, because then before the product could get done, for example, like the product needed to work on mobile and on a web browser, and so they had Apple iOS all built out, but a lot of customers wanted Android. And so then they went for Android for this one customer, and then before they knew it, they went with a competitor, and then they wasted all these resources into building a feature for this one client, and it didn't work out. So I'm just curious, like, how you guys are thinking about that, because it's a little scary, like hearing that you'll just build anything for anybody who wants to buy, because I know you have the litmus questions, which are super helpful, but yeah. So how would you kind of answer that?
Yeah, same thing happened. I'm happy that it happened earlier, because I'm the type of person that likes to provide value outside of scope. I'm just like, okay, what else do you need? Oh, you need a wedding planner? Okay, let me find you a wedding planner. Right? Because, well, I want to build relationships. Like, I love my people. But when you put on that product hat, we really have to just think about what our users want. And we are our own users. We are the salespeople. We know exactly what this flow should be, right? And it's even, I love having you guys on a call because you're all sales folks, you're SDRs, and you can really help us, prioritize what features are really needed versus what are distractions. Like, no, Zen, we don't need that. We don't need this crazy feature that your client VC wants. Tell them to go suck it.
Oh man.
Put that in your documentation.
Yeah.
I document everything. I'm very, very transparent. You guys already can tell, you have to be yourself, right? To be happy, you just got to be yourself. And I think this is a great call because I'm learning a lot and I'm getting all of your feedback. So thank you.
I have more of a comment than a question. I don't know. Does anyone have questions before I say this?
No.
Here's probably my biggest concern if I put on a hat of someone who's investing in Closed One. And that is that it is very clear that you and your team are brilliant. And I really like what this does. And I love to hear some of the results from your clients. And I think this was brought up earlier, but I guess my sort of concern or fear would be this scaling beyond you as you start hiring a team. What's it going to take in terms of hiring people that are as brilliant as you are? Are you going to be able to continue to handhold all of these clients, and provide best practices? Part of that acquisition or part of the funding that Outreach just got was to be able to turn around and buy Sales Hacker, right? For however much they bought for, to have that whole thought, leadership arm. That takes a lot of resources, right? And there's a lot of things that are best practices that you use that aren't necessarily productized. Do you feel like you're going to be able to productize the things that are going to be most important for folks to have the same success that you're having?
Great question. I hate saying great question. Who taught me how to always say that?
It's a value here at SurveyMonkey, actually. So we have hashtag great question. So.
Oh, great question. No, Skylar, so you kind of answered your own question, actually. It's a skill gap, right? We always want to connect with people who are a lot smarter than us. We're the average of 5 people we kick it with. And so I'm always constantly looking for people that can provide that smarter way, better way. And so unfortunately, because we're bootstrapped, we can't shine that gold thing in front of people and be like, hey, we can afford you.
Yeah.
Instead, what we can provide is our services, and we're going to have the best response time. We're going to have the tailored response, the handcrafted, or is it concierge that Brent said earlier? And we're going to keep growing. We just need to find the right talent.
To piggyback on Skylar's questions, and so how do you automate this? Because no one wants to invest in a services business. So
okay, I'll tell you. I'll tell you how we're going to automate it. So here's the unique insight. Because we're already collecting voice, email, social responses, they all have content. Everything has content. What that means is we already know how you're overcoming objections via email, via LinkedIn, via voice. Voice needs to get transcribed. We need to make sure that we put those in your individual playbook because each salesperson is unique. There is no one sales playbook for an entire sales force. We believe that each person grows marginally at their own terms based on the KPIs that they set up for themselves. What that means is I'm beating my own numbers. I'm not beating this B player, C player's number. I only care about what I performed yesterday. And so how do we improve that? And that's how we scale. Because we already know exactly what you're doing. We just need to show you how to marginally get better on a daily basis. And that's it.
All right, that makes sense to me. Guys, if you guys want to get, thank you for your time. I'll, Zen, if you could stay on for a little bit. You guys have any other questions before y'all take off?
No, not at all. This was awesome, Brent. And let's do a follow-up sesh.
Hey, yeah, Evan, text me about is your other thing you're doing, is that like
it's education technology, actually. So ed tech. Yeah.
All right, text me about it.
I will.
I can put you in front of universities.
Please do.
I love it. Look at that. Look at that. I got you everywhere. That's great.
Evan, thank you. Ryan, thank you. Skylar, thank you for joining.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. It was a pleasure meeting you.
It's a pleasure, Evan.
Yo,
Bye,
Evan, I'm going to give you a call.
Yeah,
Ryan,
give me a call, Sky.
All right.
All right.
Hey, I'll have a good weekend. Hey, Zen, can you hold on for a sec?
Yeah, I will.
Okay. See you guys. Have a good weekend.
Thank you so much, Zen.
Thank you, Jen.
See you,
Bye.
Ryan.
See you guys.